3 years ago, in the distant May of 2022, I got my first 1 credit clear in an arcade game. And that game was Dodonpachi. I got into Dodonpachi really out of sheer disbelief because I couldn't understand how people played this game, how they were able to clear it on 1 credit. And that got me into learning shmup fundamentals, practicing the game, practicing each stage and boss individually, trying to figure out how to do it, and that led into an obsession. And then after getting the 1cc, I went on to play Mushihime-sama, Daiojo, Ketsui, and so on and so on. And then I began doing this channel, and now I'm just kind of stuck doing these videos and being consumed by shmup thoughts and challenges and things that I want to do. So it was a really it was a big thing for me getting into Dodonpachi. So what I thought I would do, like just for fun, return to the game, just do some runs, try to get a clear again, and just see how I feel about the game now that a lot of time has passed and I've played a bunch of other games. So I'm not trying to do anything super crazy with this clear. It's just basically me having some fun and just, having an excuse to talk about this game, because it's kind of this presence behind a lot of the videos on this channel, but I've never really talked about it in depth, and I've never done a commentary on it. So that's what I thought I would do. And first I thought I'd do a clear with a different ship, because I started playing this game with the C shot ship, which is the kind of beginner's choice, because you have this super strong, super wide shots that just takes care of the enemies in the stages. But then at some point I switched to C laser, and once you switch to the laser type, it's so difficult to go back to the shot because you miss having that powerful laser. And so I started playing some B laser and A laser. But the thing is, I didn't enjoy it very much, because like the B ship, first I thought it would be cool to do clear with the weird helicopter with the kind of shot moving from side to side, but it just felt kind of janky and not super interesting to me. And so I switched over to A laser, and that immediately felt a lot different, because it's so fast and your rapid shot is so narrow. It's kind of almost, it's not really a kind of a, well, it is a rapid shot, but it's almost just kind of a different version of laser, just kind of a weak laser or something. And at first I was kind of, yeah, it's cool to play with this fast ship, but I really missed having the option to switch from the laser to the wide shot, because what happened with me playing type A is that I basically just used laser because it's super powerful and you're still pretty fast when using the laser. So it just kind of became kind of one-dimensional almost game. I can see how it's really good for scoring and for chaining, so you can just kind of zip over to where you want to be and continue your chain. But because I'm not super interested into learning chaining in this game, though I do try to do a little bit of chaining in this run. So after trying out type B, type A, I went back to C laser because it just feels like the most versatile and the most well-balanced ship. Like, you have a lot of options and the speed isn't too bad. So just, I don't know, C laser, it's just too good. It's just too good to pass up. And I didn't have a super specific goal for this run other than to make it fun. Because once you've played a bunch of other later cave games, which are quite a bit more challenging, the original Dodonpachi isn't that difficult, especially as you have so many resources, have so many bombs, so you can just kind of bomb your way through a lot of the stuff. So what I thought I tried to do is to kind of cut down on the safety bombing. So I would only bomb when I felt like it was really part of my strat, or I felt like I would die if I didn't bomb, and just kind of try to play kind of recklessly. Just kind of try to point blank bosses and try to do some chaining in the kind of early stages and just kind of go for it, and not worry too much about being safe, not worry too much about losing the run to just kind of flying around everywhere. So I tried to just kind of let it rip in this run, and I think it's a pretty fun run. There's kind of some funny stuff in this. I actually, I did a couple of clears, but I chose this one because it's the one where I die to the stage 1 boss, and I don't think there are that many replays of Dodonpachi on the internet where the player dies on the stage 1 boss. I thought it was just so funny that I decided to just keep on going and use this run again, just for funsies. What makes Dodonpachi extra cool is that it's the only game where the copyright screen is an essential part of the experience. You need to see those words, the full extent of the jam, to get kind of hyped up, pumped up for the game. So if my play looks really strange in the first couple of stages, that is because I'm trying to experiment with chaining, trying to figure out the best way to chain on the fly. So what this means is that I'm trying out different things and then failing, and like I uncovered 1B and then didn't collect it, then I broke my chain here. So it's very messy, but that's because I'm experimenting. It's actually pretty fun. And even though I kind of, if you've seen my Dodonpachi series video, I kind of complain about how the first 3 stages are kind of whatever, they're still relatively fun to play because you can always try chaining. And here for this mid-boss, I always go for the point blank. It's just fun to do, and it's kind of exciting because it's a little scary. You can sometimes get hit by bullets there, so just something that's fun to do. I really enjoy these tanks in this first stage. Like, it's kind of scary with how fast those bullets are that they shoot, so yeah. Very cool tutorial stage for bullet hell and chaining. And so, stage 1 boss. With this, I also always begin with some point blanking just to speed up the boss. And what happens here is, I guess that the bullets that it shoots out from the center gun, they don't actually come out from the gun, they just kind of appear in front of the gun. And so I get hit and lose a life on the stage 1 boss, but that's just, I don't know, I just thought it was so funny, I decided to carry on. Enjoying some of that slap bass here. With stage 2, I'm trying to do a little bit of chaining, and I think I managed a decent chain here at the beginning. Actually makes this beginning part really fun. And the chaining is not too weird at this point. Though it does make the stage quite a bit more dangerous. Here again, getting the bees and keeping the chain up pretty hard, but kind of fun to do. So we have the special building that you need to point blank for as long as you can, or that's what I like to do anyway. I like this part too, with the huge mid center building, whatever it is. Yeah, really hard to figure out the chains here without doing dedicated save state practice. And really easy to break your chain. This can be kind of tricky, doing some micro dodging here. Kind of not the way that I would recommend that you do it if you're just getting into the game or working on your 1-all. Some of this video might be helpful to people trying to learn the game, but it's just me having fun. Like this, I think, is helpful. Like destroying the bomb ship on the right at the last possible moments, so that you can have the bomb flying around during the boss, and so you can bomb the boss once and regain your full bombs, which I will try to do here. Again, beginning with some point blanking. Point blanking is such a fun mechanic, so that you can always go for more reward at the price of more risk. This boss is actually, the final phase is actually pretty difficult to dodge because it's micro-dodging at very fast speeds. Here I'm going to bomb immediately as I see that attack coming out, and then I collect the bomb. Now I'm full bombs and didn't need to do much of dangerous dodging during this boss. So if you're working on your Dodonpachi 1 all... Why do I say working? It makes makes these games sound like work. If you're having fun learning this game, this is a strat that you might want to try incorporating into your play. Stage 3 is so strange. It's kind of fun and it is iconic, but it also feels kind of strangely designed, like the enemy waves seem a little random, and it's just a lot of kind of chaotic patterns coming at you a lot of the times. And that's actually something that I noticed about this game, returning to it after playing a lot of Dodonpachi Daiojo and some of the other later cave games, is that this game seems a bit more kind of chaotic. Like, look at this pattern. There's less of these kind of really messy patterns in the later cave games, I feel like. So it does give this game its own flavor. Like, even in the later parts, like the famous Stage 5 Bullet Bonanza section, it's just kind of a lot of messy patterns, lots of bullets flying all around the screen. But I guess it does give the game more longevity because it's harder to just learn a route. You always need to do some kind of dodging on the fly, like with this section. It's actually pretty tricky and pretty scary. It's also like super fun going for these last second bullet cancels with these ships. And I'm letting the bomb fly around in case I need it. And I think I'll use it at some point here. No. Okay, so this is like this is kind of my philosophy with this run. What I was going for, not going for the safe stuff, at least most of the time. Okay, I just kind of let the bomb fly away from the screen. Yeah, this section always tricky. I guess you can figure out how to do it. Maybe go from side to side or something. Do some streaming, but it's so hard to stream that because the bullets just go off in all directions. In this section, what I try to do is just play as aggressively as possible, because then you don't need to do as much dodging, because some of these attacks can, again, get kind of fill the screen with bullets, like especially these turrets. But if you can take them out quickly, they won't be much of a bother. But of course, that means putting yourself into danger, because you're getting closer to the enemies, point blanking and stuff. But a really fun section to do. I think this red ship is my favorite part of Stage 3. Coming up to another really iconic section, Stage 3 boss. This one is so strange. I like this in theory. Like, I like how there's so many destructible parts, and when you destroy the parts, you get different attacks. And then once you take care of these smaller hatches and stuff, you can kind of concentrate on dealing damage to the boss. And of course, these kind of round bullet patterns are really cool. But why does this boss have so much health? Like, this takes so long. And, you know, again, if you're working on if you're trying to clear this game, I would just recommend bombing this boss once or maybe even twice, just to speed up the process, because it just goes on for a long time, and the longer a boss battle goes on, the more opportunities there are for you to make mistakes. But here, because I'm trying to do this kind of making this run a little bit special, I decide to not to bomb this boss, just to dodge for as long as I need to. It's kind of an endurance test. I guess it's memorable in that way. But it does get a little bit stale after a while. And I like the return of this boss in Diajaw as a stage 5 mid-boss. You get kind of a condensed version of this boss in there. So this is where, for me, the game proper really begins. Like the stages 1, 2, and 3, they're okay, but once you've played them for a while, not the maybe the stages with the most longevity in Cave's catalog. Still really cool, and still this is a pioneering game. So hats off to Cave for kind of managing to do so memorable and so like levels of this quality. But anyway, this is where the gets yeah, so what I tried to do there is to kind of try and chain and kind of play a little riskily, and of course that leads to dying. That's okay, because the game gives you a lot of resources. Even if you go down to a couple of lives, you get so many bombs that it's still feasible to clear the game, which I think is actually a pretty cool part of this game. Like the fact that it is difficult and the later stages get pretty nasty, and since you don't have hypers, you don't get to have those bullet cancel opportunities, but then you have so many bombs that you can, like, if you can manage to keep it together, you can kind of make through the game even if you've died a couple of times. This is a super cool section. I remember this taking me a long time to learn, how you need to kind of tap dodge here and just keep on dishing out damage and try to take care of these ships while also being mindful of the popcorn. Really cool. Like, this is where maybe the game really begins, not the start of the stage. Like, this is where the game gets really cool, because it gets again gets so crowded, so chaotic, so messy. This is the magic of the DDP experience for me. Again, we have these sections where usually I would bomb, but I try to do it without bombing. Yeah, what's happening here? It's just kind of stuff flying all around. I guess the later Cave games get a little bit more controlled with their bullet patterns, while also making those bullet patterns denser. So it's just a different kind of flavor. Oops. So this is a super cool boss, and the way I do it is, of course, by doing some point blanking and just a little bit of tap dodging here, and again getting into the center, dealing point blank damage just to speed up the process. It's just such a fun mechanic in shmups. And I think you can glitch out this boss, but I don't think I've ever done it, and I'm really not super interested in it, because it just feels like a cheap way of dealing with this boss. No offense if you do the glitch, it's just not my thing. Cool pattern to dodge. So this pattern is where I do a bomb for safety, because it just gets so fast that's, yeah, very dangerous pattern, this last one. So we get to the famous stage 5, and this is where things start to get really intense and really, really fun. So yeah, beginning with some bullet mess right away. And here I will try to, again, play quite aggressively and just doing the kind of U-shaped stream. And right away I run into a bullet. And so I've already lost 3 lives, which is not optimal, but still doable. I think in my original run, I was so scared of the later stages that I routed the game out where I could make to stage 5 without losing a life. And I think in my first 1cc, my first death is around this point. I think in the upcoming, the really crazy bullet section is where I die the first time. But here, in this run, I've already died 3 times, so I need to compensate by playing more skillfully in the later sections. Here is where I get trapped, so I just bomb because I don't want to die. I'm not that reckless. And right about here is where the real fun begins, so I will try to do this without bombing. So this is what I mean by chaotic patterns, like DDP, the original DDP is just kind of vomiting these bullets all over the place, which is a choice, but makes the game fun and have its own distinct personality. But yeah, this section is super fun, and you can also kind of decide when to time this destroying the building and everything. So it's not the same every time at all. So that's also what makes this so exciting. Yeah, and the madness just doesn't end. It just doesn't end. And but I'm really satisfied with not bombing through, like making through this without any bombs. But then I take a hit here, and right now is the point where I'm like, okay, I decided to play kind of recklessly and decided to play without care for safety. But now I'm starting to be in a bit of a trouble. And just explain this bit here. This is actually helpful. You can kind of, yeah, you can see me pushing way on top of the screen and point blanking these enemies before they get a chance to kind of shoot out their bullets, which makes this section way easier. So now I have this life and one extend, and this is where things start to look very dicey, because I need a lot of resources for the next stage and especially for the final boss, so I can't afford to bomb too much during this boss, which makes it exciting because, you know, I'm not super good at dodging this, like these patterns. In my original 1cc, I do kind of a planned bomb here at the beginning, and then I get up. There's kind of a trick that you can do. I think I bomb here, and then I get on top of the boss, and there's kind of a safe spot that you can stay in to do point blank damage, but I don't really remember how to do it, and I decided to do this legit just for fun. And so these fireballs have kind of weird hitboxes, but yeah, that went well. And now, like, this pattern is, I'll just bomb through it. Ooh, looked kind of tricky there at the end. But yeah, super fun boss, really challenging. Lots of, again, so many distinct attacks. Like, the game gets super good in these later stages. But yeah, entering stage 6 with 1 life in the bank and 4 bombs. This is not still doable, not super optimal at the level that I'm playing, or at the level that I've learned the game, because like originally I did a lot of practice on stages 1 through 5, but stage 6, like, originally it was so difficult for me that, of course, I routed it out, but I also decided to just kind of rely on a lot of bombing here. So the later parts of this stage, I can kind of try doing them without bombing, but it's really not feasible to just no bomb this stage. So I actually need to get a bit more careful here. Love the bee enemies, and I love how you can need to be kind of aggressive and fast about getting those bees before they get a chance to kind of shoot out those crazy bullet patterns. So this is where they kind of throw everything at you. Super fun section. It's really fun to play this part just on instinct and just try to kind of just stop thinking consciously and letting your kind of how do you say it, kind of muscle memory, or just kind of the unconscious part of your brain handle it, because I'm not even sure what's happening in here. That went relatively smoothly. I'm a little late for this boss, so I get trapped here and I bomb. And this is a really difficult section. I think I've always bombed here because those enemies coming from the right... Oh yeah, so I bomb in advance here so I can just kind of keep on destroying them before they arrive on the screen. And this gets so chaotic. This is so messy. Wow. Super fun. These games are so weird. Like, whenever they get crazy, that's when they get fun.
as well. And so ideally what I would like to be able to do is to get to the boss without dying, because then I can try dodging the initial attacks of the boss safely without needing to bomb, because you need those bombs for the last pattern of the boss. But what's really unfortunate is that I take a hit there, I just ram myself into a bullet, which is kind of the thing about this run. Like, I think most of my deaths are just me moving sideways into a bullet or into some kind of enemy. And so this boss, I need to play this carefully, because I think I need something like at least 3, ideally 4 bombs for the final pattern. And since I have this bomb flying around, I'm going to bomb immediately to deal some extra damage at the outset, and then now I'm at full bombs again. This is a fun pattern to do, just tap dodge. And I really love this pattern. It's really tricky, really challenging, because you need to do kind of a restream once in a while, because otherwise the pattern is just going to trap you. This is... okay, yeah, I bombed right at the very end because I got scared. Again, really messy patterns. I think I get scared again here at the end. And so, yeah. Just staying super still, super calm there, and now we're at the final patterns, and now this is just a bomb fest, because I never learned how to do this pattern, because it's just so crazy, and since it's at the very end of the run, it's just... and the game gives you a lot of bombs, it's just so much easier just to rely on your bombs here. So yeah, maybe something to learn at some point. And the funny thing about this run is that I think this is the very first time that I've entered Loop 2 in this game. I don't remember the exact requirements. I think there are several that you can hit, and I guess maybe I hit the scoring threshold, or maybe a hit chain threshold. I need to check it afterwards, but I was kind of surprised because I got the clear and I was like, yeah, cool, and I was like just chilling. And then I just kind of noticed that the Japanese text is a little different than usual at this point, where he says yoroshiku, which I don't think he usually does if you stop after the first loop. And I was like, what's happening? And then I was in loop 2, so just... I'm in loop 2 with no extra lives and no bombs, so this is my first time playing loop 2 of Dodonpachi. I'm pretty sure about that. Maybe I've done like a save state just to try it out, but yeah, this is just pure playing on instinct. And it's kind of fun how it's not that crazy right here at the beginning, because like Daiojo Loop 2 is like insane right from the get-go. This is kind of doable for a while at least. But I think I get hit by the mid-boss here. Yeah, I try to do some point blanking, and then I get cornered. No, I don't. Okay, cool. I misremembered. Okay, so I wonder where I will die, because I don't think I got to the boss in this one. Let's see. Exciting. Okay, I get clipped by the tank there. But yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that was my kind of 3-year anniversary clear of the original Dodonpachi. Hope you enjoyed this one. I just had a bit of fun with this game. And feel free to share some of your own thoughts about Dodonpachi, maybe memories of playing or trying to clear Dodonpachi, or how you feel about it in regards to, or in relation to the later Dodonpachi titles. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.